Playing pretty good. I mean, we won 9 straight, so it's been no just a strong couple few matches for us. We're top five in the ACC in every statistical category, which shows just how well-rounded our team is offensively and defensively. We're just really doing some really good things. We have 5 seniors in this group, and they're really driven to kind of leave a legacy here. They have had, London Ackerman Libero is now the all-time leader in digs. Tegan Van Gunst is an all-ACC player. She is second in ACC in points per game, per match. Very dominant player, has reached 1,000 digs, 1,000 kills, which not very many players have the opportunity to do that on both sides of the game. Her sister, Annika Van Gunst, has reached 1,000 digs as well. Rebecca Martin, our setter, it's at 3,000 more assists. So, I mean, these kids are doing some big things. They have been part of this program for a long time as far as just playing time on the court. And they were responding really well to her last year. This is my 3rd season with them, and they have come a long way in where they are, and they're really wanting to make sure they leave here and they're remembered, and they're doing just that.
Naturally, I'm sure you thought with those 5 seniors, you thought you would have a decent year this year.
Yeah.
But how much has the play of Sydney and Gabriella meant
Huge.
to you going over the top of just being a good season to maybe a great season?
For sure, that has made a difference. Gabriella and Sydney are both juniors, and they have had a tremendous impact in this group. They raised their game to the next level based on last season to what they're doing this season. So it's really good. I mean, I think that our seniors are very strong, but I think that everybody around them has really pushed this group up. We have a lot of depth. We have a freshman that's coming in and playing some significant time, and she's coming in at tough moments and executed. And we have people in the bench that are coming in different positions at different times, and they have been able to get ourselves out of some situations and win. So it's definitely the strength of the group that has been the difference this year.
You ever take Tegan kind of for granted? I mean, you know what she's going to do almost every game. Do you get to a point where you kind of that's just Tegan?
That's just how she is. I mean, she's a special player. She doesn't think too much of it. She just does what she's good at. She has fun with how she does it. But we all know how special she is. She's a very impactful player. I think one of the rare qualities that she has is she plays both sides of the game really well. She's a great defensive player as well as an offensive threat. And nowadays it's more and more rare to find that. And I think that the opportunity that she had to play on the collegiate national team this summer, really helped her and showed how important that side of the game is for her future. I know that she wants to play volleyball a little bit longer maybe when she's done, and just being able to do those things at a high level, it's really, really important in international volleyball, and her being able to compete at the collegiate with the collegiate team this year has really raised her game to the next level, and it's definitely paying off this season. She's playing pretty well and consistent.
Last year, the team had trouble with, with 5-set matches, and it seems like the best solution has been to just avoid them entirely. 11 sweeps this year. What's that say about this team's killer instinct?
I think we're just very consistent. I think that winning is addictive. Once you learn how to win, it's a feeling that it just takes over you, and then you want to do more and more, and you want to practice more and more, and you want to get better. And I think that it was what has happened this year is this team has learned how to win. They come into practice every day ready to get better. Our consistency with our work ethic in practice has, shifted tremendously from last fall to this fall. And so they're just learning how to play the game at a higher level every day and what the expectations are at this level to be successful. They embrace that. They're seeing the results. And so those are all, just kind of snowballs into how we're performing. And it just shows our consistency. I think that we're staying, very confident with what we can do, and we're staying on task, and we're on a mission. So we're going at it.
Coach, 2 quick recruiting questions. You talked about your new coach bringing a lot of energy for recruiting. Where do you guys really kind of focus in most of your recruiting? And number two, during the Olympic years with more focus on women's sports,
Yeah.
do you see it easier to recruit people here for Georgia Tech women's volleyball?
So when we're recruiting, I think our biggest thing is making sure that the players will fit in our culture. I think that we run a pretty fast-paced practice. It's pretty intense, high energy. I like our recruits or our players to show consistent, good, positive body language, be resilient. And so those are all things that we're looking for in our recruits. And of course, they have to be driven to be here at Georgia Tech. I think that the academic challenges at the same time as well performing in a Power 5 conference and wanting to be in the top of that conference, it's not for everyone. So we look for players that we know are going to have kind of the grit and just the identity that it's needed to perform at the level here at Georgia Tech. It's a special place, and it takes a special player to be a part of it.
Curious, you mentioned kind of the culture change you need to institute and changing the way that players think. And I know obviously you're coming from Brazil, you have a different way of
Right.
thinking and playing the game. I'm curious, can you talk about just that process of teaching players that I imagine most of them grew up here and thought
Right.
through the game different,
Yeah, I
way.
mean, I think that volleyball has done so much for my life that I think that that's one of the biggest things that we try to impose in our players is this game has given you so much that you need to respect the game and appreciate what the game has given to you. When you come from Brazil and you look at facilities and you look at the places that we played and how many balls we had, all those things are, nothing happens. And I play professionally around the world as well. And, you don't have the facilities, the trainers, the doctors, the academic advisors. All this kind of support that's here for you and for your success. You don't have that anywhere else in the world. It's a special thing that the United States has with just college athletics. And one of the biggest things with me and our culture is my players need to understand that, and they need to be appreciative of that. We had an opportunity to go to Brazil this summer, and they kind of they were able to see exactly what we were talking about. And I think that was a huge turning point for us too as a team, and just how we approach this experience. I think that has made a big difference on how we play this year as well, and just how appreciative we are to the opportunity to play the game at this institution, and be able to do it at a very high level. So those were some of the things that we try to implement. The other thing was, my background is the international style of volleyball. It's what we see in the Olympics. It's what I played overseas. And so we try to adapt that training as much as possible. We try to make our players, all-around players, very comfortable with the game. In the first couple of years, we would put international volleyball on the TV all the time. And in the summer, we had popcorn. They had to watch the World Championships, and they had to watch. And I said, hey, pick a player, learn about the sport, find out, who's out there that you like and their style of play, and how can you, so get to know the sport of volleyball a little more than just what we're doing here, because it's so big everywhere else in the world as well. In Brazil it's the second sport. In Europe is very popular. So it's a sport that generates a lot of passion for a lot of people, and it's a fun sport to watch. And I think the more our players learned about it and they saw high-level players making mistakes in situations that they make mistake in, and they started understanding the game a little bit better, appreciating their mistakes, and just being comfortable with, hey, if somebody executes better than you in this situation, it should be to their advantage. And so we just started to learn how to be better, just better play the game and understand what the game is about. And I think that has helped tremendously as well.
You only have 2 conference losses. One of those was a tough 4-set match at Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
You have them coming in this weekend. How big is that, especially with the way you close out the conference schedule, against the North Carolinas, the Florida States, those type of teams?
Yeah, our second leg of the schedule is definitely very challenging. Before Pittsburgh, we play Virginia Tech on that Friday, so that's our biggest match right now of the year. And then we get Pittsburgh on Sunday. They just had a huge win against UNC. And I think one of the biggest things is everything we kind of, postseason, conference championships. I mean, we still have a shot at a lot of those things, and they are within our control. We have to perform and execute. And so I know that we're not looking past some of the matches that we have. We're taking one match at a time, and every time that we approach that match, we talk about creating moments and creating opportunities. And, you know, this Friday is a big opportunity for us to beat a really good Virginia Tech team, and then Sunday, time to get pit back here in our home court and hopefully, you know, play them a little bit better than we did the first time around.
This season kind of surpassing where you thought you would be at this point. What kind of expectations or hopes you have, particularly for the, you know, the conference and the tournament and the postseason?
You know, I think we need to finish as strong as we can. So hopefully we are making to the NCAA tournament. Our goal in the beginning of the season was to have more than 20 wins, finish with a top 50 RPI. We're at 46 right now. We're at 19 wins. And then with that loss from UNC loss last weekend, and we have a little group chat, and we said, hey, this opens up even bigger aspirations and possibilities now. And so I think that we're refocusing a little bit of our goals. I mean, we don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, but I think that we are confident on the talent that we have and what we're doing as a team, and staying driven to get better and make sure that we're finishing to the best of our abilities. I think that that's the main thing, is we don't want to cut ourselves short, and so we want to make sure that every match we're performing at a better level and making those goals bigger and bigger as we go.